Welcome back to Coins X Tales. We're exploring rare quarter-dollar coins that have made people rich. Let's find out why you should never overlook these coins. Because who knows, a single coin could change your life. Don't miss this. Top 1. The United States of America has produced many coins, but only a few carry stories that quietly whisper history, mystery, and unexpected value. And today we step into the world of one of the most misunderstood and fascinating coins ever minted. This is not a gold coin, not an ancient relic, and not a commemorative piece. Yet it has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters around the world. In the year 1965, America was changing rapidly. Society was shifting, and even the coins in people's pockets were about to change forever. That year marked a historic turning point in United States coinage, and the quarter dollar became the center of that transformation. For decades before this moment, Americans were used to silver coins that carried intrinsic metal value and a reassuring weight in the hand. But rising silver prices forced the government to make a bold decision that would alter the future of everyday money. The quarter dollar of 1965 was born in this moment of transition, making it unlike any other quarter before it. At first glance, it looks familiar, almost ordinary, blending easily with millions of other quarters that pass through cash registers and pockets. But beneath that familiar surface lies a story that separates this coin from the rest. Collectors know that first-year transition coins often carry hidden significance, and this quarter is no exception. It represents the end of an era and the beginning of a new one, a silent witness to economic pressure and government policy. Most people spent it without a second thought, never imagining it could become a subject of fascination decades later. The design still honored George Washington, a symbol of stability during a time of change. Yet behind that design, the composition had shifted, signaling a major departure from tradition. Millions were minted, flooding circulation as Americans adjusted to the new feel and sound of their coins. Some noticed the difference immediately, while others barely cared. But collectors were paying attention, watching closely for variations, errors, and unusual strikes. Over time, stories began to surface about certain examples that stood apart from the rest. Coins with exceptional quality, unusual characteristics, or mysterious origins began appearing in private collections as decades passed. The 1965 quarter gained a reputation far beyond its face value. It became a symbol of transition, a marker of a pivotal economic moment. Collectors began studying it under magnification, searching for perfection where mass production ruled. Condition became everything, and pristine examples became incredibly elusive. The closer a coin remained to its original mint state, the more desirable it became. Every tiny mark, every scratch, every sign of wear told a story of where the coin had been. Finding one untouched by circulation was like finding a needle in a haystack. Then there were the rumors, whispers of coins that shouldn't exist in the way they do. Stories of extraordinary examples began to circulate through auctions and collector circles. These were not coins found in pocket change, but preserved, protected, and cherished. Their surfaces gleamed with a brilliance rarely seen on everyday quarters. Edges were sharp, details crisp, and the overall appearance stunning. Collectors understood that rarity is not just about how many were minted, but how many survived in exceptional condition. The 1965 quarter slowly earned respect, then admiration, and finally awe. Auction records began to reflect this growing appreciation. Each high-profile sale added another layer to the coin's legend. What was once overlooked became sought after. What was once common became extraordinary under the right circumstances. The coin story is not about luck alone, but about history, preservation, and timing. It reminds collectors that even modern-era coins can achieve legendary status. It challenges the idea that only ancient or gold coins can be valuable. This quarter proves that significance can come from moments of change. It represents a crossroads in American coinage, a moment when silver stepped aside and new materials took over, a coin that quietly carried history in millions of hands. And yet, only a select few examples rose above the rest. These exceptional pieces became trophies in elite collections. They were studied, graded, and celebrated. Each one told the same story, but in a louder voice. The voice of rarity. The voice of preservation. The voice of historical importance. collectors today continue to search, hoping to uncover another remarkable example. The 1965 quarter remains a reminder to always look twice at what seems ordinary. Because sometimes history hides in plain sight, and sometimes a simple quarter can rewrite everything you thought you knew about modern coins in the world of numismatics. This coin stands as proof that change creates opportunity, that transition creates rarity, and that even the smallest pieces of history can carry incredible worth. In the real collector and auction market, the highest known examples of this coin have reached a value of $65,000. Top 2. The United States of America has produced countless coins, yet only a few quietly hide stories that surprise even seasoned collectors. Among these coins is a $quarter that many people still carry in their pockets without ever realizing its deeper significance. The year 1994 feels modern to most people, recent, familiar, almost ordinary. And that is exactly why this coin is so often overlooked. At first glance, the 1994 $quarter seems no different from any other Washington quarter. The portrait is familiar, the size is standard, and the design feels routine. But history often hides its most interesting secrets inside ordinary objects. This quarter was minted during a decade of transition, innovation, and change in the United States. The nation was entering a new digital age, while traditional systems were quietly evolving. Coin production was faster, more precise, and more complex than ever before. Millions of $quarter were struck to meet everyday demand. They moved through banks, vending machines, cash registers, and pockets across the country. Most were spent without a second thought. Yet within massive production runs, subtle differences can emerge. Collectors understand that modern coins can still achieve extraordinary status. What matters is not just age, but condition, rarity, and circumstance. The 1994 quarter became part of this modern collecting mystery. While most examples show wear from circulation, a very small number survived in remarkable condition. Coins like these avoided scratches, nicks, and the harsh treatment of everyday use. They remained sharp, detailed, and visually striking. Under magnification, these exceptional examples reveal stunning surfaces. Every line of Washington's portrait appears crisp. The fields reflect light cleanly, almost like a mirror. Edges remain bold, untouched by time. Collectors prize these qualities above almost everything else. The difference between a common coin and an extraordinary one can be microscopic. A single mark can separate average from elite. That is why grading plays such a critical role. When a 1994 quarter achieves an unusually high grade, it becomes something entirely different. It transforms from spare change into a collectible artifact. The excitement around such coins grew slowly over time. At first, few people believed modern quarters could ever be worth serious money. But auction results began to change that. Perception. Record-setting sales shocked the numismatic community. Collectors realized that perfection is rare. No matter the year. As demand increased, competition intensified. Top-grade examples became harder to find. Many were already locked away in private collections. Others vanished into long-term holdings. The idea that a 1994 quarter could be extraordinary captured attention. It challenged old beliefs about modern coinage. It reminded collectors that value is created by rarity, not age alone. Every generation produces coins that later become legends. This quarter represents that idea perfectly. It belongs to a time when technology improved minting, but perfection was still elusive. Even the most advanced machines could not guarantee flawless results. That imperfection created opportunity. It created scarcity at the highest levels. And scarcity fuels desire. Collectors today actively search through rolls, sets, and archives. They hope to uncover a surviving masterpiece. A coin frozen in time. A coin untouched by circulation. A coin that defies expectations. The 1994 quarter stands as proof that modern coins deserve attention. It teaches patience, knowledge, and careful observation. It rewards those who look closer than others. In the world of collecting, surprises often come from unexpected places. This quarter carries that lesson quietly. It is not flashy. It does not demand attention. Yet under the right conditions, it commands respect. Its story continues to grow as collectors compete for the finest known examples. Each sale reinforces its place in modern numismatic history. Each record confirms that even recent coins can rise to remarkable heights. This is not just a coin. It is a symbol of how value evolves, how rarity forms, and how history continues to unfold, even in our own lifetime. And the real collector and auction market. The finest known examples of this coin have reached a value of $65,000. Top 3. The United States of America has a long and powerful history, and some of its most fascinating stories are hidden inside the smallest objects. Coins, often overlooked, have quietly witnessed generations rise and fall. Among these silent witnesses is an early quarter dollar from the 1900 era. This coin comes from a time when America was still shaping its identity on the world stage. Industry was growing, cities were expanding, and the nation was stepping into a new century. Every coin struck during this period carried more than metal. It carried ambition, confidence, and change. The quarter dollar of this era was not just money. It was a tool of commerce in a rapidly evolving country. People used it in bustling markets, rail stations, and growing towns. It passed through countless hands, each with a different story. Most of these coins lived hard lives. They jingled in pockets. They scraped against other coins. They traveled miles in wagons, trains, and early automobiles. Time left its mark on nearly all of them. Yet a very small number escaped that fate. Some were set aside. Some were preserved by chance. Some survived in conditions almost impossible to imagine today. Collectors understand that survival is everything. The fewer examples that remain in remarkable condition, the greater the fascination. Early 20th century quarters were struck with craftsmanship that modern collectors admire deeply. Details were bold. Designs were elegant. The artistry reflected a nation proud of its heritage. Over decades, most of these coins wore down. Edges softened, details faded, surfaces dulled. Finding one that looks nearly untouched is extraordinarily rare. When such a coin appears, it immediately captures attention. Collectors lean closer. Magnifying glasses come out. Every line, every curve, every surface is examined carefully. The coin becomes more than an object. It becomes a time capsule. It shows what American money once looked like at its finest. High-grade examples from this era are almost never accidental. They represent preservation against all odds. They survived wars, economic shifts, and massive population growth. They endured while millions of others disappeared. That rarity transforms them into treasures. Auction houses recognize this instantly. When one of these exceptional quarters enters the market, excitement builds. Collectors prepare. Bidding intensifies. History is no longer distant. It is right there, resting on velvet under bright lights. The appeal is not just financial. It is emotional. Holding such a coin feels like touching the past. It connects the modern world to a simpler, yet ambitious, America. Each detail tells a story of craftsmanship and purpose. The coin reminds us that value is created over time, that survival creates meaning, that rarity rewards patience. Not every old coin becomes valuable, but the right coin, in the right condition, becomes legendary. The early quarter dollar stands as proof. It challenges the idea that money is temporary. It shows that history can be held in the palm of your hand. Collectors continue searching, hoping to discover another extraordinary survivor. Most will never find one, but the possibility keeps the hunt alive. This is why early American coins remain so captivating. They are not just metal. They are memory. They are history. They are legacy. And when everything aligns, they become priceless symbols of the past. In the real collector and auction market. The finest known examples of this coin have reached a value of $65,000.